Welcome to the Desert Tiger Podcast. I am your host here on the show. My name is Colton G. In this episode, I'm going to be speaking with Katie and Michelle of Like a Motorcycle. Of course, before I go ahead and do that, I want to thank everyone who went and checked out last week's episode of the DTP. That, of course, was my conversation with Derek Sharp, the longest tenured and current lead singer of the Guess Who. I also want to go ahead and thank all of you who went and followed the Desert Tiger playlists on Spotify. There's a lot of great music, some great rock and roll, some punk and hardcore, and a great rap and hip hop playlist on there as well. I have a metal one that I'm going to be rolling out very soon, and then I have one that I call Northern Lights. It's going to be a lot of Canadian feel-good music, so keep your eyes open for that. If you haven't gone and followed that, or if you haven't even subscribed or followed the podcast yet, why don't you go ahead, take a moment, give it a follow. The beautiful thing about podcast apps is they run in the background, so you can totally get all of that done while you're listening to great programming like the Desert Tiger Podcast, where we talk to great musicians, artists, athletes, and all sorts of things, including this week's guest, Like a Motorcycle. Like a Motorcycle is a melee attack with a soundtrack. A hurricane that looks to create controlled chaos and leave everything on the stage everywhere they play. With the sound that commands the attention of seasoned punks and young rebels alike, the Nova Scotian four-piece are building a reputation worldwide of show stealing, hard partying, and punk rock antics. I had the chance to speak with Katie and Michelle, who respectively play guitar and drums and both also do vocals for the group. We discussed the group's music, how their touring situation is, seeing as how they're from the Maritimes, which is quite a ways away from any other major Canadian city. With that being said, though, Lamb has toured in Europe a couple of times, and we're going to discuss a few of those travels, maybe a little bit of security issues, maybe something got accidentally snuck onto a plane at one point. So we're going to hear about what Katie and Michelle did in that situation. We're going to discuss the band's future recording plans. They actually have already been in the studio. I have no idea where that process is, but you can expect new music from them sometime in the future, and we're going to talk all about the plans for that. Where did they end up recording it? Who with? All the juicy juice on that one. And we're going to discuss all sorts of other things. Cannabis statistics, energy drinks, and why everybody needs a good Dave. All of this and more in my conversation with Katie and Michelle of Like a Motorcycle. And just because I said that they haven't got around to releasing their new music yet, that doesn't mean that we can't go ahead and go back to the group's 2016 EP, High Hopes, something that we also discuss in today's conversation for a few tracks for this episode, because you know that we love to get you hyped up, get you in the mood, give you a little bit of an introduction to who our guest is. So, of course, we are going to be playing you two tracks today off of High Hopes. And this song, just like High Hopes, just like this band, well, it's a punk one.
The longer you stay, the more I throw away. the Desert Tiger Podcast.
All right.
Okay.
We are here with two of the members of Like a Motorcycle. How are you? Please introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, please.
Hello, yes. I'm Katie. I play guitar. Sometimes they let me scream and growl and stuff in the background.
Yeah, let you. I'm Michelle, and I play drums and sing mostly.
Mostly.
I sing a lot.
What else do you do?
I play drums, and I sing in the band.
Play drums and you sing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Drink, yeah. Sugar-free, though, these days.
Yeah, she had to get on the sugar-free because the normal Red Bull makes her really angry.
Nah, it's not like a proven fact, but like I just assumed. So yeah.
It's kind of weird how it's, all these different ingredients to make you hyped up, but the sugar would be like the one thing.
But it makes sense though. Sugar is a pretty hard drug, so like think about it.
There's apparently you can get addicted to it.
Sugar
and
high.
It's super hard to get off of,
Yeah.
to actually like cleanse yourself of sugar, get it out of your diet. I don't know.
Tough.
Who
We're
knows?
getting there, though.
Who knows? Either way, so let's talk a
Anyways.
little bit about the band. How did Like a Motorcycle come together? Were you playing in different bands beforehand? What is the story? What is the back tale?
I like his enthusiasm a lot.
Yeah, you're very enthusiastic.
I like
You're,
it.
Sleepy stoned. Well, Michelle, you should do that first. I hopped on afterwards.
Yeah, so we've been in a band for 6 years altogether, maybe? I don't know, who cares? There's been a couple lineup changes, but it started with Kim and Jill, and they played opposite instruments. Kim used to play guitar, Jill used to play bass, and they're like, why don't we just switch and see how this goes? And they were way better at the other instruments, and then they gave me a call. Not really a call, I saw them on the street, because I lived across the street
They
from Kim.
catcalled you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to play drums for them and do this thing where I sing and play drums for them. But I was in a bunch of other bands just playing a lot, and I was kind of busy, and I was like, I guess, yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll see if I can fit you into my fucking schedule. And
Lo and
I'm an
behold.
asshole. But then we jammed, and it was awesome just because they, it's not like the other bands didn't really let me sing a lot, but they were just like, we're gonna make you do this. And it was cool because I hadn't really explored that much. I enjoyed singing and playing, but they kind of brought it out a bit. And the three of us played for a couple years, and then we met Katie just through the scene, who played in a bunch of awesome bands that we really liked. And I think initially it was we were gonna, if we toured, and for some reason Jill,
Yeah, our old bandmate Jill. We're still really good friends with her, but she just hated touring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She just homebody. She settled down and got married, and eventually left the band a few years ago to kind of live that comfy home pajama fucking
Pay your
awesome
bills
life, pay
kinda
your bills
shit.
life.
but yeah, but it was, I think originally it was in case we need someone to go on the road. Katie's an amazing guitar player and an awesome artist in the city, and we're friends with her. And also, I was dating you at the time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and we jammed, and I think we just ended up adding you to the band, and we're we sound bigger. We were getting bigger gigs.
Yeah, it was first jam, I think. We were just two guitars.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it
It just made sense. I don't know why we thought being a three-piece was going to be the best thing at the time, but we were starting to play more in bigger shows, and I think very shortly after you joined the band, we had that big show with Pop Explosion where we opened for Against Me, who is one of your favorite bands, and it
that was
just
pretty cool for me.
It was
that'd be huge.
I almost vomited the whole day.
yeah, it made sense.
I was very nervous.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
I still get like that. We were on tour with the Headstones in December, and it was a really big show, and I would just went out and tuned, and I would just walk back in the green room. I was 1 second, please, and I would just.
It's green room though.
It's
It's this tiny little with a leather couch and a table with fucking salsa and chips and dip and just this shitty little plastic garbage can with no bag in it. And Katie's doing this thing where she gags, and it's it's a
I
common
get
thing.
they're nervous gags.
Yeah,
I get them
and
all the
we all do
time.
it. We've all been there. But it was more of a dry heavey, dry heavey, dry heavier. Is that? I don't know. But and then she eventually just picked up the garbage can and puked into it. Again, no bag in this garbage can. Small, tiny ass green room, and like.
It wasn't my finest moment.
Yeah, you did it a couple times, and we were kind of like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Dave was just laughing. Oh yeah, so
Dave was laughing. Okay, back to the story.
Back to the story.
Jill, we did a bunch of touring, like Germany and like overseas and shit, and Jill like just was getting to the point like where, again, the settling down and all that, and that's there's no hard feelings for leaving the band at all.
Well, it's touring is a different beast entirely from playing local shows. It's some people just aren't built for it.
Yeah.
We were talking about that this morning. We're like, you have to be wired a certain way to really enjoy being on the road for long periods of time. I love it. I'm fucking into it. Yeah, I feel displaced everywhere, so I might as well actually be genuinely displaced. I'm like in my element then.
Yeah.
Constantly live in that space of chaos.
Yeah. Why not? Right?
Just trying to keep your clean laundry separated from your dirty laundry. Yeah. That's the only thing.
So anyways, Jill like officially told us, she's like, I'm leaving this time. And we're like, well, I mean, bummed in a way because it's like you're losing someone who's been in the band for so long and you're used to that shit. But I feel like we were in this weird point where we knew we had to write a new album. We were trying to like write new songs and like, I don't know, the fire wasn't there for a moment.
Yeah.
And then this happened and we're just like, what the fuck?
We also had a fucking 2-week German tour totally booked and lined up, and this was like November.
It was a few months before this,
and our tour was in January, so we were like, we need to find someone.
And we were like, we'll just get like a really good guitar player to come and like we'll pay them to be a session player if we have to.
Yeah.
But then we're like, well, why don't we just try and replace her with someone? And like this whole girl band thing was our thing for a bit. Like we never really were like,
we hated being called a girl band.
It was always the question that we would get asked during interviews. It's like, what's it like being a girl band? Blah 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 blah. And it's like we never really pushed that fact. We're a bunch of women, but like we're also really good musicians, and if you like our music, then fuck yeah, let's do this.
Or alternatively, if you only like us because we're chicks, fuck that.
And I hate people who specifically will go about that, and it's like, oh, I love female fronted bands. It's just like, okay, what, like, it has to, like, is it specifically there's only the one girl in the band that makes you like it? Is it the fact that she's only singing in the band? Is like, if she was playing a different instrument, would you find her less qualified to do her job? Like,
it's just all bullshit. It's like, just post. It's just, you're
musicians.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we were faced with this, like, this weird situation where we're like, there's not a ton of female punk rock guitar players on the East Coast of Canada.
And I mean, there's like, there is some, but
mean,
they're
if you
all
want to play
doing
indie.
Everyone's doing their own thing.
All over there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there are like some fucking awesome, girls in the city that are just like killing it, like Kayla and fucking Heather and like Fungus, there's just Viv and Fungus. Anyway, there's a ton of that, but it's like everyone has their own projects. It's like no one's gonna drop their shit just to like come globetrotting with us.
Yeah, it's a pretty big ask.
Yeah, so we just like we're kind of thinking about guitar players that we really admire in the city. And Dave Casey, he used to have a band called Glory Hound. I don't know if you knew those guys.
I don't know if I've heard of them.
Yeah, just like rock and roll band. He's just a sweetheart. We've known him around for a while, and
we weren't really friends with him, but we knew him in the scene.
Yeah,
and
we admired him.
Yeah,
he's like a sweetheart. And we just were like, well, let's just see. Like he could pick up the songs in no time. Like he's got his own band, Glory Ham. Like maybe he'll want to come to Germany with us. And we sent him like a Facebook message, just like, hey dude, want to go to Europe? And I think it was like 45 seconds later, you're just like, yep. And then we started jamming with him, and he's the best guy in the world. He's fucking wicked. And
the timing of it was just perfect though too, because his band Glory Hound was like
they were breaking up. We had no idea.
Literally like the week we asked him to do this, because like that was our only worry about him doing, because they would do big tours and shit. Like, they were doing shit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you're worried that he might have commitments of his own, and
I mean,
and
or his band would be weird about him. I don't know. Who knows?
Sometimes
Who
it happens, right?
Yeah.
We like to think of everything and make ourselves crazy anxious. And
we like to get really anxious about things.
Possible situation that will never come up.
Yeah.
Just in case you have to deal with.
That's my specialty. I'll think about this when I wake up at 5 a.m. and do that for a few hours, like I do every day. But yeah, we took him. He learned the songs super quick.
Yeah, we played one show in Halifax before we left for this German tour, and we were driving down the Autobahn on our way to like our second show in Germany, and like
we're all drinking a beer.
We're all drinking a beer in the back, and he's in the front. He's like, guys, because originally we were just like, try it out. If you want to do this with us, that'd be awesome. Like, we'd like to write with you too. Like,
but no
that's how we work in this band. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like you play this. It's like, we want to write an album and we want you to be part of it too if you're into it. Like, it was like us trying to be...
We were trying to play it really cool.
Yeah, like, without begging him.
No
to,
pressure,
"No,
but please."
No, it would be good. We hoped it would be a good fit, I guess, in general. But, like, we're driving down the Autobahn, and he's just like, guys, like, I can't remember exactly how he said it or what he said, but...
I really want to be in your band.
Yeah.
Or something like adorable, something to that effect.
And we were just, the three of us, Kim, Katie, and I in the back, and we just were like...
Yeah.
So excited, and like we were with our old manager John, and he was in the driver's seat, and like a single tear streamed down.
He
my
almost
side.
put us out the road.
He was like, "That was such a beautiful moment," and we're like, "It really was," because like,
and it's been perfect ever since. Like,
yeah, and that fire I was talking about earlier, like fucking, he just him coming to this band and writing with him has been amazing, and I really don't know what would have happened if all of that didn't happen.
If we didn't find our Dave.
Yeah.
I hope everyone finds their Dave.
Yeah, you need a good Dave.
For those of you listening, you'll find your Dave someday.
There's
you know.
a lot of Daves out
what
there.
do you need your Dave for? Do you need a musical Dave? Do you need a love Dave? You'll find your Dave. You got this.
Whatever it is.
So that's where we're at in life right now with this band.
Your Dave, who's a solid shoulder to cry on.
Yeah,
He's
really.
pretty tall. Like,
he's very tall.
Sit down and then we can
your
cry
Dave,
on his shoulder.
who is really good at barbecuing.
Right.
I mean, there's all sorts.
Yeah, maybe you need a culinary Dave. Maybe you need a car Dave.
Driver. You need a driver.
Yeah, Dave.
Mechanic
Yeah,
Dave.
he drives us around a lot, which is nice because Jill couldn't drive, so we did a lot of driving.
Fuck you, Jill.
Yeah, fuck you, Jill. I'm gonna send her this as soon as it airs.
Oh my God.
We love Jill. We love you.
That's awesome. Jill was a part of the first album then.
Yeah.
Yeah, High Hopes.
Yep.
Okay.
And also, we did have like a couple EPs before that. But
Before I was
High
in the
Hopes
band.
was like our first like full length sort of situation.
So having her along for the ride from there, and then you guys, we've discussed beforehand. Let's release that now. You guys are recording right now. So
Yeah.
how has the band progressed, having lost that one member and then adding on a member that you guys feel has strengthened the group? Like, how has the band progressed as a whole?
Well, this album's kind of funny too, because like even High Hopes, like that was half written when I joined the band.
Yeah.
So like this is the
the
first full album that I'll be like writing as well with the band. So it's there's a lot. I don't know. I guess our sound has definitely changed a little bit.
I think we've settled more into like it. Yeah, it's changed, but like
It's like catchier, but it's like louder at the same time. It's not as grungy.
Yeah, like
we'll show you some demos, but you
before,
fuckers
like-
out there have to wait.
just like we didn't have like fucking Dave can rip. He'll rip fucking solo.
Yeah, I kind of stepped back into rhythm from like lead guitar. I was just like, Dave, you're better at this. You do it.
Yeah.
And we kind of trade off a lot, but man, he just fucking full blown melter solos. Just like, we're really talking Dave up.
We are.
Kelowna.
He's really not that great. But,
Yeah.
I mean, no,
He's actually really bad, and we just like try and make him feel good about
Come
himself.
up to the show
Yeah.
tonight. He's super sloppy.
keep saying it, it'll be true.
He's
You
playing
guys
like
will
a
just be
Fisher Price
behind
guitar.
him, like, participation trophies and everything. Like, good job, Dave.
You're doing great, honey.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah, I don't know. He joined the band. It's better than it ever was, I think.
Yeah, I feel
But
like it's a
also,
little more
We've all kind of settled more into
a sound.
a sound,
Or-
really. I'd say that's the biggest change is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping it goes well. I think I really think that people are gonna like these songs. Like they're definitely more accessible to everyone. I guess they're not as like grungy, but yeah, they're somehow catchier, but they're also somehow a lot louder. So I don't know what that means.
It can mean a lot of things, right? Once you hear it.
They still have some dirt, but it's like the good kind of dirt that's like easy to clean up, maybe.
Yeah.
Easy to clean up.
Not like dust.
It's
or,
soil.
Sort
Like
of
dog
that
hair.
grungy, not overproduced.
like big
Yeah.
pieces of
Sound.
garbage.
Yeah, it's big pieces of garbage. It's not like confetti. Just
like confetti.
big, all rolled up pieces
Yeah,
of
large confetti.
newspaper.
Large confetti.
Yeah.
Screw those tiny little streamers. We want one giant piece of paper falling from the sky.
One confetti.
Did you see that fucking Banksy painting that shredded itself? I don't know why I was reminded of that with the paper
Confetti,
falling from the
probably.
sky. Do you not see this?
I have not seen this.
Oh my god, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I was reminded, and I'm sleepy
Here
stoned,
you
so
go.
here we go. And
we go,
away
let's
we go. Fucking Banksy. Okay, so there was like an auction, like all these fucking hoity-toity like art collectors. I think it went for like $1.3 million or something.
Yeah.
Just this Banksy painting, like in this like big kind of like gaudy frame. And the second that the gavel like was hit in the auction, and it fucking shredded itself. We have to look this up. We'll show you. Look. Yeah. What is this? Oh yeah.
This is percentages of who used cannabis in the last 3 months, and we won.
Nova Scotia wins.
We won.
Did you see? I already commented on it with the band. Look,
Oh.
we're number one. We're number one. So I'm way ahead of you.
Way to celebrate, BC.
Yeah. Sorry, we're
Just
overstimulating.
a bit behind, even though we're considered the capital. I guess you guys are the underground kings.
What does that really say, though? Someone on the Halifax Noise thing had commented, like, maybe Nova Scotia just has the lowest percentage of liars. We're just honest about our weed consumption.
Just honest about the fact that there's nothing to do.
Yeah, no kidding, yeah. Yeah, once lake season's over, it's just smoking weed all winter,
Yeah, in
bud.
Halifax, they're doing this crazy ban on smoking in general, like cigarettes, vaping, cannabis. Cannabis, why did I call it that? See, now we're
Cannabis.
going to call it fucking cannabis because
Yeah.
the government.
Yeah.
Weed.
Weed.
So you can't smoke.
Because the government.
You can't smoke in public places, like, it's usually 4 meters from a door, whatever, anywhere
Yeah.
in the city. Now they're going to have designated smoking areas,
In Halifax, yeah, you
Halifax.
can't smoke in public.
So you
and
have
they're going
to
to
like,
regulate it. So
they're just gonna have little fences up, and it's like, here you guys
don't
go.
know.
a little
just,
like fucking box you have
just
to go in.
congregate yourselves
It's
inside
gonna
of
be
this little
like-
fenced-off dog park area.
Yeah,
and-
actually,
It's going to be like at Tim
actually,
Hortons in the 90s.
They're gonna put up one of those glass.
when they'd have the little
like,
cancer
boxes.
cages, like
Yeah.
the glass cages you walk into
But yeah,
Hortons. Do you
it's
remember this?
So fucked.
We did not have those in Saskatchewan.
What?
Oh, yeah, I
you're
know.
You
missing
could probably
out.
still smoke on the fucking street
Yeah.
now too, but yeah, it's being enforced on the 15th, I think.
They're trying
So
to stop the
weird.
smoking on the street there.
Yeah.
I think it was last year they decided that they wanted to stop it, but a lot of people are still very
mean,
pissed about it.
I get it
Seems
because
hard to police.
it is hard to police. I get it. People are just stupid when they smoke, though. Sometimes, like I
People are stupid when they smoke.
well, like,
What do you mean?
No, like people will be walking down Spring Garden, like a main sort of drag in Halifax downtown, and like just unleash this huge cloud while they're walking. I
Oh,
see
yeah.
people walking
Yeah.
through, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's rude. Like,
Totally.
don't do that. If I ever, if I'm smoking and walking, I'm not gonna blow smoke in someone's face. It's like these people are ruining it for all of us.
Oh, totally. If I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
sitting outside having a smoke at work or something,
like-
and someone walks by, I wouldn't blow.
Yeah, because
my
you're a
smoke.
decent human
Yeah,
being,
well, 'cause
but like
that's
that's
also just poison.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it
blow it up
honestly,
in the air,
Yeah,
not-
It
I'm
has
choosing to
something to do
ingest
with,
this
like,
poison. You aren't.
the legalization of weed and all that too. I realize that because it's like how are you gonna tell people not to smoke weed when it's legal? But I would
Yeah.
assume it's just like alcohol. It's like you can't drink on the street. You shouldn't be able to smoke weed on the street,
Mm.
which people still do. But like it's
Yeah.
not a problem. They're not causing shit. People smoke or drink on the street too and don't cause shit. But like
Oh, all the time.
it's just such a ridiculous rule, and we're gonna be coming back home. Well, you'll be back later, but like to this new rule. And I work on Spring Garden and like go for smoke breaks, like.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see how that goes down. So I'm gonna get all my smoking done while I'm here.
Yeah, just get it out of your system.
Just quit.
Get it in while you can.
You keep trying to ask us questions
Yeah,
about
next.
our careers, and we're just like, "Have you heard about the smoking?"
Don't worry.
So
this is like
Banksy.
every episode of this podcast ever. Half the time, it's just like, hey, you want to ramble down this rabbit hole? Yeah,
Absolutely.
Word.
You know I do.
it. Okay, so being a band from Nova Scotia, we spoke about this a little bit briefly as well. What are some of the difficulties? Because like
Smoking bands.
smoking
We can't
bands,
smoke anywhere.
obviously
Sorry.
being the first one, but I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are kind of off on your own. Is there much of a touring circuit out there in the maritime area? Do you guys have to find that you have to try and tour into the States quite often,
We
or
haven't-
to go into Europe? Like,
We actually, I guess in the last couple years, we have probably played We've definitely played overseas.
I don't really
more
listen to the
than
question.
out
I
of
was
the
trying
province.
to boomerang you guys.
Yeah. How'd that
No
work
worries.
I was
Deleted it.
I told you
I
we have
overthink it
short
way too
attention
much.
spans. Yeah, no, there's not really a ton. Like, so yeah, we're in Halifax. The next kind of big city would be Montreal, and that's like a 14-hour drive, which is, you know, it's a commitment to go do that. We haven't toured a ton in Canada. Like, we're sitting here obviously in BC right now, but we're here to record this album, but we haven't made it any further west than like Toronto really. But we've been
It's hard
in
for
quite
us,
a
I
few
think.
countries in Europe and stuff. We haven't made it to the States yet.
Yeah.
I'm scared of the States right now.
Well, yeah, I can't
Yeah.
blame you on that one either. There's a lot of reasons to be scared of touring into the States. I mean, it's not exactly musician friendly.
Well, it's really expensive to get there as a Canadian band. Yeah.
No, just the visas and
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
And it's just to try, like, your first time there, you're generally is going to be your audience's first introduction
Yeah,
to
you're just,
you.
like, slogging the
So
pavement.
there's no guarantee that you're going to be making that money back.
Yeah, I mean, if we could get on a support for a bigger band,
Yeah. I
we'd
think
love
that'd be-
to.
That would be our game,
Yeah.
basically.
Can we come? So if you're a bigger band and
Can
you're
we come?
listening,
Hey.
take us somewhere. You'd like us.
Yeah, we're pretty good people.
We're all right.
We did do like that the Headstones tour, like a few days of the Headstones. It wasn't really a tour, but
How many shows?
Like 4 or 5.
That's a decent little
I don't
run.
remember.
Moncton. If you count Moncton.
If you count Moncton. Is Moncton count as a show?
We're from the West Coast, so I think we do count it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. But yeah, we have a little label over in Germany, so we've been over there a handful of times. We do like Germany, Poland, Estonia. Poland was a weird time. We were there like while they were trying to make abortion like completely illegal, and I showed up in my favorite show shirt that just says abort everyone, and like the bartenders really didn't like us, so they kept just like, I know that like in certain countries, like, you know, you can, the name of your country is disguisable, you know, or like, you know, like Germany, Deutschland, whatever, but like these bartenders were just standing behind the bar going, Canadiana, and I was like, I know what you are saying. You're definitely talking about me.
There's nobody else
Yeah.
here.
So it was a bit of a weird time. I mean, I think it was just like a bit. Yeah, we didn't have.
I know they were being nice, but like their thick accents when they were speaking English, I just thought they were yelling at me.
I kind of like that I fit in. Everyone else was angry
I
too.
was just mad and like, I was like, don't talk to me like that. Even though they were just like, can you check your floor, Tom, please? And I was like, why is he yelling at me?
Oh, the
But-
Sam guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he like interrupted us mid-song to tell me not to stand on the drums anymore. It was a weird show, man. We were only there for like 2 days. We were like, this is weird. It was also when Jill was in the band, and like Kim and Michelle and I, you know, we're fucking gay as the day, but like I feel like we can pass as like tomboys or something. But Jill is like, hey Jill, if you're listening, Jill is very much like a butch lesbian woman, and we were like leaving in the airport, and we're like, let's get the fuck out of here. It's been just like a very traumatizing couple days, and like the last thing we dealt with was like Buddy with like an AK-47 checking our passports, and he literally threw Jill's passport into her face. And we were just like, let's get the fuck out of Dodge. We like ran to our gate and just sat there. Like, no one ever just sits at their gate for hours and doesn't go to a restaurant. We were just like, this is fucked. We gotta get out of this country. But
Maybe that's what scared her out of touring.
yeah, that was the last.
possible,
That was
actually.
the last time she went.
This is the last time I saw
overseas.
Jill.
Yeah, that was the last time we saw her.
And that was it.
What do you guys think about the States? No.
No, Jill's actually living in the States now
Yeah.
with her
Oh, wow.
wife.
Oddly enough.
Yeah, she likes it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
very
get there, I
good.
mean, eventually.
We'll get there soon. Just, you know. Anyway,
Did that answer the question?
did that answer your question of how's the East Coast music scene?
Oh, is that the question? The
Yeah,
East
you,
Coast-
you toured once with
It's
the Headstones.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. We're like, there's not a lot of punk rock going on. There's so many musicians, and like, you know, there's a really supportive scene in
I think
Halifax.
it's going through like another wave Because there's this thing called Rockin' for Dollars. It's like an open mic for bands. I know they have one in Alberta.
So the guy from Alberta in Calgary used to live.
Hockey fight, right?
Yeah, he used to live out in the East Coast.
Oh,
and
so
he actually
brought it here with
he actually brought it here
Cool.
because he actually like used to be a part of it.
Right.
Yeah, because I've actually
Something
He was in Hockey Fight though, right? With Mike,
yes, he was in
Mike
Hockey
Botcha.
Fight.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they were in a band together, Mike Botcha.
Oh, I was like, Mike Botcha was it here?
I remember seeing them at Rockin' for Dollars.
Right.
But yeah, like I've gone to that because it's been around for like over 10 years.
We played the 10-year anniversary.
BJ Downey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Shout out.
Shout out BJ.
But now I've gone like the past couple times, and we haven't played that a lot, but like I haven't gone a lot, and it's just like there's a whole new scene of all these bands.
Yeah,
and
we're old now.
I don't know, but it's awesome. Like there's the scenes there, but Halifax is just so they're just trying to keep it down in a way. It's like places have been in like.
There's not a lot of venues.
Yeah, venues have been told they can't have music anymore because they got complaints from like one neighbor who lives down the street, kind of shit. Like it's like there's you can't fight it when you have people calling 311 and making noise complaints.
It's hard to jam
and like shutting down these one of the few venues we have to play, and it's like and the all ages venue now is in danger of being shut down, and like different places have moved like.
Yeah, I guess like places that like used to facilitate the punk scene. Like there's just not a lot of it.
They're constantly moving around because they're just being kicked out because they're building condos or like whatever. It's like it's there, it exists, but I feel like the city is like just almost doing everything they can to prevent it from growing. I don't know any more than
maybe
it is
it's
right
just
now.
a consequence.
Or maybe I don't know, but it's a good scene. It's good. We were there, so I mean, there's some really cool bands from there, like Walrus, who are fucking great, and Port Cities, like just there's like a variety of everything.
Brown, Fungus, Photo,
but
lots of good bands.
Yeah,
but yeah. Anyway, there's not a huge punk scene, so
we feel like we need to grow a little more, and we'll see what happens with where we go. But
yeah, once we record this album, we'll see. I don't have a home right now, so I'm not tied down to anything. I'm just going on tour for a while, so I moved out of my apartment. So
that's fair.
I'll figure it out when we get home. Maybe fucking this album, we'll go somewhere and we'll just move. So
who knows, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's just go with the flow.
Yeah.
See where the wind blows.
Yeah. I'll fucking end up somewhere, bud.
Where are you guys in the recording process?
We're just doing pre-pro while we're here in Kelowna. So we've been in a rehearsal studio all day for the last few days we've been here. And then we're going straight to Vancouver on what we play our last show for Breakout West is Saturday night. So we head to Vancouver Sunday and we go in the studio Monday.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to be there I'll be there for like 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. And you guys will be there for like three weeks or so. And then, she done, and then we got to mix it and shit. But we're recording with Howard Redicop, which is pretty exciting. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Should be cool.
Yeah. He's actually staying with us.
Yeah, he's staying. We gave him the room with the door.
The only room with
Oh, really?
Yeah.
bed.
Nice.
Dave and I are in bunk beds, and Michelle and Kim are out here on the couch.
On the
beds.
couchy
Yeah,
bed
we
sofa
gave him a real
thingies.
bed.
Yeah, but we've been talking to him for a while, but the first time we met him in person was a few days ago, and we're just like living together and doing this shit, spending a lot of time, and
Yeah, he's gonna hate us soon.
it's pretty cool.
So
yeah,
sort of
he
just
definitely.
hanging out with the band, getting the vibe, and
Yeah, we've just been like in a rehearsal space, just like kind of tearing the songs. Well, not tearing them apart. He's been, for months, we've been kind of back and forth. He's been sending us notes, so we've been kind of like working remotely. So we're just kind of like finessing them a little bit now before we head into the studio.
We've never really like been in a situation where we've had a producer so like hands-on and like just helping us make these songs like fucking amazing. But also just like helping us not doubt ourselves that we've written some really good shit too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's
he's very encouraging, which is nice.
Yeah.
I would never be able to work with a producer that would just like...
It's pretty crazy though. We're just like, we're going to do this. We're going to come all the way to fucking BC to do this. Let's hope it go. And like, but like leading up to it, talking to him and Skyping with him, we're just like, no, he's a cool dude. Like he gives a shit.
Yeah, he's at the skate park right now.
Yeah, he's
like a
nice.
pretty cool
He's out and
dude.
about.
Yeah.
Sounds super chill. super chill indeed. But of course, I want to know how you guys went ahead and set up the plans for recording in BC, whether you guys knew that you were going to be coming to BC to record, or whether you just happened to book Breakout West first. How did it all go down? I really want to know all these details. But of course, before I go ahead and do that, we're going to take another small break. We're going to be playing another song off of the High Hopes EP really soon. But of course, before we go ahead and do that, I want to mention that we are launching our Patreon very soon, and there is going to be all sorts of different things that you can get with that. There is going to be a blooper reel from all the idiotic mess ups and things that I say during these mid rolls. You guys don't know how many times I stumble and bumble. Well, I am going to actually start recording video of it, and I'm going to be throwing it up on the Patreon site. There's going to be sendings of postcards, pins, stickers, all sorts of things. There's going to be 4 different tiers for all of those of you that want to support on different levels. There's small levels, and every level gets a benefit, something special from the Desert Tiger podcast. We are going to be launching our Patreon next week. That's right, next week. So keep your eyes open for that. But of course, if that is too long, you're dying to support the show, but you can't wait, you can maybe go ahead and share this episode or any of your favorite episodes in the DTP backlog, because that helps us out more than you could know. Or else you can always head on over to one of our social medias, DM us, and cop yourself a Desert Tiger shirt. North American orders, $25 plus shipping. International orders, $30 plus shipping. That's right, we found a way to knock down shipping prices in North America. Yay! In those orders, you will also be included with some free stickers and a personal handwritten note from Jaboy thanking you for your support, because it allows me to do so many beautiful, wonderful things with Desert Tiger, and it allows me to keep high hopes for the future of the show. We are booked well into May right now. We are booking shows in May and June, so we have tons of great content on the way for you. So high hopes for the future of the show, just like High Hopes is the album that we are playing tracks from Like a Motorcycle, and this next track happens to be entitled Dead Finger.
The Desert Tiger Podcast.
Book Breakout West first, or did you guys know that you were planning on recording first?
Well, we wanted to record with him, so then I schemed up a plan that if we got into Breakout West, we could access some showcasing funding to pay for our flights to come out here. And then that would be
we got into the show and they were like, we don't know if we could do it, but if we decide, because we were going to bring him to Halifax.
Yeah.
And try
and then everything just kind of worked out. We were able to stone a bunch of birds at once. So yeah, I forget what you asked me.
Well, basically, did we book Breakout
and that's
West
how you make
we
water
got into
chestnuts.
Breakout West, and we were like, fuck, we can record out there.
Mm-hmm.
Two birds stoned at once.
Yeah.
You answered the question pretty well.
So we're stoked too, because like we very recently have like parted ways with our label and management and stuff. So we're kind of out here like the West Coast kind of makes a little bit more sense for us in terms of like our genre of music. So we're also pretty stoked to like try and assemble, maybe get an agent out here, assemble a new team.
Yeah. I'm just proud of us for getting out here and like, planning all this shit.
I'm proud of us for getting to the airport so early in the morning. Fuck.
We did really good.
Yeah, we had to be there for
No one
5
had
a.m.
any weed on them when we went through security. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Usually one of us gets on a plane.
Funny story. Yeah, we were going to Brighton and we go through security in Halifax, which is always super chill. Even then, they were super chill. They really didn't. They give a fuck.
Of, like chill lesbians
like,
working
I don't know. I feel like we could probably. Anyways, we get on the planes, international flight. I think we were with our old manager, and it was like us and Katie and I were sitting in the same row, and she just sits down, and Katie like is a pretty like. When you just sit down and like it's like your entire body. Like this is the way she moves sometimes. Bowling last night, you were just like spazzing out and throwing the ball. Anyways,
small, but I'm very.
It's like a heavy walker kind of thing, but like sitting in chairs.
I understand that. You move like somebody twice your size.
Yeah.
I have a lot to make up for.
Yeah.
But yeah, Katie's sitting here at like 3.5 now. She sits down in the plane seat and like this huge whiff like of air, of weedy air goes into her nose.
Yeah, we both just looked at each other. And I was like,
she's like, I just like got a huge whiff of weed, and she's like, I washed all my shit. Like it's impossible. Like I can't. I don't
washed
understand.
everything because the trip before that we were coming home from Estonia, and for whatever reason they nabbed me in the Montreal airport. And like interrogated me for like 2 hours. I missed my flight. I had to stay in Montreal overnight. So I was like, there is going to be nothing on me. Not that there was anything on me before. I was just paranoid. I mentioned before, I'm a very anxious person. So I like washed everything and fucking
just like
I got really drunk a couple nights before we went away, and I lost a bag of weed. And I was like, silly me, I smoked all my weed. No, it was in the pocket of my jacket. And yeah, I just like reached in, and the two of us were just like, what the fuck?
We're just like, we have to eat it.
Yeah. Well, I went to the bathroom, and I was like, fuck, like I'm gonna, fuck. And I was like flipping out, and then I was like, well, wait, I'm already on the plane. I went through security, like I'm here.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm not gonna flush it. So I came back, Michelle and I got like one of those little bottles of wine each, and just like ate all the weed. Yeah.
And that's how you
get really high.
That's how you do security with weed. I
can't really tell though, because we used to drink. Like Michelle doesn't drink anymore, and we've chilled out quite a bit. But like, we used to drink so many of those little bottles of wine on like the overseas like.
Yeah, booze whole time. They would
on
get
international
annoyed
flights. They just
how
give
much.
You,
we would constantly get at them, and we're not.
Sometimes you get one that would be like pissed, but sometimes like
I'd
just
have
be like, keep them coming.
I'd go
get,
back
like, once you get like your girl.
Yeah, I'd go back and ask, and like John, our old manager, would be asleep, and be like, "Can I get another beer for my dad?" Because I just got one. So I'd be like, "Can I get one for my dad?" Like, we'd come up with these like schemes to get extra beer, and we'd be like, whoever's sleeping next to you, be like, "Oh yeah, they wanted one, but like when they wake up, so I want to."
Yeah,
like kind of shit.
It would just be a graveyard of empties.
But like Katie said, some of them were super chill, but some like were just like, we ran out of beer, and we're like, you did not run out of beer on this flight.
We'd be like, John, ask for a beer, and they bring them one.
And they bring them one, and they'd give it to us, and they'd be like,
Susan,
yeah,
I know you're lying to me, and you have more Budweiser back there.
It's just you got to take advantage of that, right? You're already paying that much to fly over there, so.
Yeah, everyone I always ask me, they're like, did that get you stoned when you ate the weed? And I'm like, I don't know, because there were so many little cute bottles of wine involved too.
By the time it would have taken effect, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, it was literally like, I don't know.
I was like fucking 8 episodes deep into convenience.
Nah.
Yeah. So that's.
I don't think that would have done much then.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's just weed. Just weed, man.
Exactly. Exactly. What
Yeah.
harm does it truly do?
Seriously. We're so chill right now.
None harm.
None. Except making the fast food workers do their job even more.
Seriously.
Seriously. All right, so let's dive a little bit into your influences, not only musically, but also personally. Who are the people who helped define you and help influence you back when you were growing up, like in your high school years and those really crucial developments?
Wow,
This question.
wow.
I always hate this question.
Like personally or like musically?
Our band sounds like...
See, I'm not looking for your band. I'm looking for
yeah,
you.
you.
Oh, just me?
You.
Miss
No.
Michelle
See,
Sheldon.
everybody always asks the band, what is your I'm interested in the
But that would be a
person
combination of
individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, in high
It's all
school,
about you.
I listened to a lot of The Strokes. And
Yes.
Riley Kiley was like my thing. I realized Jenny Lewis is like a pretty big influence, although like it's different than the music I sort of play now. But yeah, but I also really like old shit like Heart and Queen, and like I consistently listened to Journey in high school for whatever reason. It was like the only CD in my mom's car. And I don't know, it's like a combination of all that shit. I can't really pinpoint a moment where I was like, yes. I feel like it was a bunch of moments, but I don't know. That's my influences, I guess I could say.
Who are your personal heroes?
I don't really
Let's
know.
get a tear going here.
No, I'm not
I
getting
want
into it.
I want to see
No.
you cry.
That wasn't part of the question, was it?
Yeah.
It was part of the
Personal
question.
heroes?
Yeah. Like
Yes.
who helped you?
It wasn't just musically. It was
into it.
actually like who helped build who you are
I
today.
feel like I'm in therapy
Yeah.
right now. That's the way you guys are looking at me.
Tell us
No,
how
man,
you
I'm not
feel.
trying to
Build
give
me
you like
today.
a basic
like I
everyday
said,
everything reel.
Jenny Lewis, who's
You know her
Riley Kiley.
personally.
I don't know her personally, but she's a pretty big influence. Ann and Nancy.
We want personal. We really want to. We
Personal
really
from-
want to get to.
No,
right
no, I'm
to
not
the
doing
bottom
this
of
today.
you,
I'm not doing this today.
No, we don't have to get that deep.
Next.
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 Fuck. I don't know. I like Brody Dow. Yeah. Distillers, obviously. If anyone's heard me or seen me, that's
Katie.
pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I listened to a lot of like. I was such an emo little fucker, so I listened to a lot of like Save's Thing, Get Up Kids, and shit like that growing up. Weaker Thans. I love the Weaker Thans. I don't fucking know. I listen to a lot of like
See,
really loud shit.
It's not such an easy question.
Pixies,
Oh, yeah,
Nirvana.
Pixies.
Pixies are my favorite ever, I
That's
think,
good.
maybe. Interpol. Who else do I like? I was like, when I was like, well, I mean, you too. You're only like 2 years older than me, but it was just like, you know, well, you lived in the woods, though. When I
Yeah.
got Napster, my mind just exploded.
Yeah, my dial-up
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah, that was like, that
Like
was a wild
Napster.
time. Yeah, just lots of fucking emo and shit. I was a very emotional human. Not anymore, though. No, I'm not. Not since,
we cut all
not
those
since
out.
the incidents. I grew up like, I totally like grew up thinking that I was going to be like a professional skateboarder. So I had a lot of cool dudes in my life that just like kind of showed me pretty good music at a young age and were like encouraged me to play guitar and shit like that. I never thought I'd actually be doing it, but
You're doing it.
yeah.
I'm going for it.
This is
Yeah,
your life
I
now.
used to play air guitar on a tennis racket quite a bit in my day. Yeah, so I never thought I'd be doing it. It's a nice little surprise. Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
Sweet. Check. Go.
Sweet check, go. All right. Once the album is in the bag, like, what is you guys' plan for that? Because you said that you stepped away from your label. So are you guys planning on shopping it around? Are you planning on
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
the whole DIY method? What is the plan for that?
Well, I mean, obviously, we're not going to hang on to it if we never get any representation or people to work with us. But I think that is our goal right now. Is
Yeah.
to get some people, or like shop it around, or
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, Howard, our producer, he's like worked with a lot of like our favorite Canadian artists and like big Canadian artists. So he's got a lot of connections. So we're feeling pretty confident that we'll be able to, have a couple options to like find the proper home for this album.
But we need to have it, so we're excited to have it.
Yeah, we're excited to finally have it mixed.
Like have something to shop around, because like right now it's like we have some demos, but
you don't want to send too many people your demos, and then you know it's like, oh, I've heard that. Yeah, so it's just waiting to get that final product in hand, and then hopefully we'll have a couple people knocking on our door. But if not, I mean, the industry's changed so fucking much just in the last few years, and like I mean, up until our last album, like we only put our last album out as like kind of a licensing deal with our old label. Like we already had it recorded and in the end, and like I'm a designer and photographer, so it's like Kim, like we all have our certain roles within the band, and like we were doing it totally independently until they were like, we'll help you. Like they helped us with distro for our last album, but it's like it was pressed and in hand and fully done by the time we even met those guys. So I mean, I don't really think it'll be an issue, but we definitely have the toolkit to put it out regardless. But hopefully we'll find the right home with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned that the West Coast sort of has a good vibe for you, and you also said that you're not really sure where the band is going to end up.
Yeah.
Is the West Coast somewhere that you guys would like to possibly
I would
end up
fucking
in the future?
Kelowna. Holy shit. People just keep giving us shit, like free weed, free beer, like
free
strangers.
beer.
We met this guy, Kevin, last night, who wants us to take...
Yeah, oh God.
He went from like 0 to insane in like 2 minutes. So he like had this one hitter, and he's like getting us to like smoke it, and he had this crazy lighter, which he was just really pumped about. But then he was like, "Oh, weed's gonna be legal soon. Like, what do you think would happen if I had 2 big suitcases full of weed and I get on an airplane?" We're like, "That's a stupid idea."
Sometimes when you meet someone or you hang out with someone, and like whether it's weed or beer, but it's like they've got 2 completely different gears, and like like we just smoked like this little one hitter with this guy outside, and Kevin just that was the perfect description. I love that we know his name. It was like he smoked this, and then he unbuttoned a couple of the buttons on his shirt, and he was just a new guy, and I liked the old guy better. Old Kevin was nicer than anyway.
So far, our experience in BC in general, it's been
great.
Good. Like, I think we would do okay if we decided to come here, but it's like it is a lot to consider. I mean, we could end up in Toronto or something, but like I think
definitely
we're just
a lot
gonna
closer.
we're just gonna go where or stay wherever it is best for us
wherever you
to
will
grow.
continue to give us free weed. We will be
wherever the best weed is. That's where we're gonna end up.
We will go.
And
Of course.
I guess we'll play
Do you
some
have soda
shows.
water? I like soda water.
So you guys are that extra 3% that Nova Scotia has over BC. So once you guys move here, like, so we'll be
back
solid,
to
right?
Cannabis stats.
Well, so
Cannabis
we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
We win everywhere we go.
I love that Nova Scotia is the highest. I mean, I believe it.
It makes sense. I really
Very
like what
few
you said,
people
though.
don't smoke. Like, how many people do you know that just like don't smoke weed at all?
Like
ever?
1 out of the 1,000.
You're
1 out of
one
1,000. My 1,000 friends, one of them doesn't smoke weed. That's a real
Ellen.
stat. No, Ellen smokes weed.
Actually, I know. As soon as I said Ellen, I'm like, Ellen actually smokes a ton of weed.
Yeah, she loves the weed.
Yeah.
If you guys just want to let the listeners know where they can find out more about the band, where they can find your music, all that sort of stuff.
Google.
No. We're on all the things. I guess we're most active on Instagram.
Yeah.
We're pretty funny. We're just a bunch of fucking idiots.
Instagram is pretty consistent and current and instant.
Yeah.
But
we do the other things when we have to, but that's our preferred.
Go likeamotorcycle.com for shit.
Yeah,
a typical website shit.
Naked.
Facebook, if you're gonna get into the algorithm of liking our band and following, I don't know. It's
Everyone just get off Facebook.
Yeah, we have some shit on YouTube
I
and
wish everyone
Bandcamp
would get off
as well.
it so I didn't have to be on it to promote the band. Just
feel
everyone
like
else get off, and then
My
I can get
answer
off.
of saying Google like a motorcycle is probably the best. It'll give you
We're
some
on
options.
Spotify. We're on all that fucking shit. Our
Actually,
Spotify numbers are really
Go to Spotify.
low.
Follow us on Spotify.
Yeah, I think it's because for some reason our last album just really, really resonated with 50-year-old men. I swear to God, you should have saw us on
It's
tour
true.
with the Headstones. We sold out of merchandise after our second show.
It was
like we were like getting paid like $500 a show. Like we weren't getting paid a lot. Like $500 a show maybe to open for the Headstones, and we were selling like $1,000 in gear. In gear.
I was like, what kind of
merch? Come get your lamb gear. Do I have gear for you? But yeah, it's crazy. But we were just like, yeah, like older dudes for whatever reason love us. So
we make them think of their like younger punk days.
Yeah, the older dudes are not on Spotify, but yeah, find us on Spotify.
Well,
we'll have a new album soon.
Well, a lot of like the people who are Headstones fans, like the Headstones were like into punk in their earlier years, and like they were very big into like Teenage Head, who are like one of like the bigger early Canadian bands who a lot of people actually don't know about. So is like you get a lot of that classic punk crowd who probably could like really appreciate your sound for sure.
Oh, it was actually really awesome, and like, you know, they're of the age now that it's like they have expendable income. So they just
one
be
dude
coming
bought
up.
like 4. He kept coming back. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get one for my nephew, and he's like, he comes back a little later. He's like, oh yeah, my brother-in-law. I'm gonna get one for him as well.
Yeah,
like,
they were so nice. They
how
were just
you
like
just getting these for you?
They just had this mentality too, where it's like, look at these fucking kids, you know, which is really funny. Our first show, Dave was like walking by the bar, and he, like after we played, and he heard this one person lean into someone else and was like, "Did you see those fucking kids up there?" We're all like, "I'm the youngest one. I'll be 30 in 2 months." But like, we would just like compared to the other people.
We look like
yeah,
kids.
I do look very, very young, but surprise, boobs are sagging. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. It was great because I feel like it was just like there was like this weird like sense of like kinship where they were like, look at these little fuckers go, like, you know, like they just wanted to kind of help us out, like they were giving us like joy. Like I don't know, I would go on tour with the Headstones again anytime. Their audience is fucking wicked, and they're like diehard. There were people that would like follow them around from city to city, just so nice.
And
then they come meet us,
and they
we're
gave
like
us free weed all the time
super
too.
personable. We're like climbing all over everyone. We were like, you know, knew some of the audience members by like the time we were done, like because they'd be following.
Yeah,
they
came to like multiple shows.
Oh dang!
Cool, man. I'd love to go out. Hugh Dillon's like the coolest dude. It's Anyway, why are we talking about this? Yeah, listen to us on Spotify.
Did you guys actually like get to like spend time with Hugh and the Headstones?
Hugh wanted to produce our album. We just
What?
Yeah, Hugh is like the nicest dude. I text this guy all the time if I have like personal problems and stuff. He's like the nicest dude ever. We were gonna go record with him, but we like the label we were with. We didn't feel comfortable taking like the amount of money that it would have cost. It was just like a really bad position.
It didn't work out.
It would have put
And
you in
like,
a bad spot.
Yeah, and Hugh gets that. He's the nicest fucking dude ever. Like we messaged him once we finally got like this BC grant.
Yeah.
To come record with Howard, and he's just like so supportive. But yeah, no, he's like super nice. He's like, you know, like just this sober, like very intense. Like he just wants to have like real conversations with you. So yeah, he'd track us down after the shows and just like he was the nicest dude ever. Like super personable.
Yeah, the rest of the band was pretty sweet too. Like,
yeah,
we got pretty like buddy with their security guard Sean. Remember him?
Oh my god.
He was like super hard at the beginning.
On his back and stuff by the end of it.
Yeah, he's
like these
like,
kids. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Security guard and shit, but like he was with them the whole time. And at the beginning, he was kind of like, who are these fucking street kids? What the hell are they doing in here? Why do they have instruments? They're obviously homeless. Like, but then like
Hugh.
By the fourth day,
did you promise these kids cans?
Yes, exactly. But by the fourth day, like Katie said, like she was like on his back. Like he fucking loved us. Like that was like the biggest hug I got from any of them when we ended the tour. But I got pretty close with the drummer Jesse too. He was pretty rad.
Yeah.
He was like super chill.
They're wicked dudes. Yeah, they're putting out a new album soon too. Like, yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, hopefully we can hop on a tour.
I think they're on tour like right away, actually.
Yeah, they just like re-released
Picture of Health.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like the 10th anniversary or 20th anniversary.
Oh, it's longer than that. I think.
It's a while, but yeah.
I think
like
Picture of Health was like.
I
I think it's 25th.
Yeah, that's wild.
I think it's 25th.
Yeah. Anyway, those guys fucking rule. But yeah, our Spotify numbers are low. Go
Spotify.
find us.
Fuck yeah, they are. I was actually like 4,000 for quite a few of you guys' songs. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, I think we've got like literally like 200 subscribers. Like it's low. It's bad. We need your help.
Need your help.
Listen to
Subscribe, yo.
And yeah, we're just fucking
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, that was great.
A big thank you to Katie and Michelle of Like a Motorcycle for taking time during their very busy Breakout West weekend. They had 2 showcases to play that weekend. They were pre-tracking for the album that they were just about to go into the studio to record literally a few days after I talked to them. So I'm very grateful that they managed to make the time to smoke a J with your boy and get lost in a whole lot of conversation, because would it be a true Desert Tiger episode if we didn't get a little bit lost and turn things from an interview into a conversation, because that's where the true gold is. I also want to go ahead and thank you guys, the listeners here at the Desert Tiger Podcast, for once again tuning in to this episode, for once again doing the wonderful things that you do. If you happened to enjoy this episode, please consider sharing it on your social media with your friends and your family, because that helps the show reach new people all the time, and I'm so very grateful to those of you who do go ahead and do that. If you haven't subscribed to the show yet, maybe you want to hit follow on Spotify, maybe you want to hit subscribe on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, on whatever service you are listening on right now. I would be forever thankful to you for going ahead and doing that. So you guys, thank you so very much. Next week on the show, next week might be my doubleheader week. I have an episode sitting on deck from a group from North Carolina called Smoke from All the Friction. And I also have an interview from Tom Steven. He happened to be the drummer / manager of Jeff Healey, and he recently wrote a book about his experiences with Jeff Healey. So we might have a double header with that one next week, or else I might just drop the Tom Steffen one and then have Smoke from All the Friction the week after that, when I have one of Canada's most celebrated hip-hop artists on the show on March 21st. Like I said, we are booking into May and June right now. Very excited for everything that is on the horizon. So I hope that you guys stay tuned to the Desert Tiger Podcast as we continue to grow in 2019, and hopefully you guys are continuing to grow in your 2019 as well. So go on, get out there, and find your Dave.